Welcome to ViewPlus Web Clinic number 3, explaining how graphics are being converted to tactile output using ViewPlus Embossers, and how the output can be manipulated for better tactile conception using Tiger Designer, part of the ViewPlus Tiger software suite. When working with ViewPlus Embossers, in general you can print from any Windows program, and what you see on screen is what you get on your embossed output. This is a PDF document showing an image of a plant cell structure versus an animal cell structure. The goal is to print this to a ViewPlus embosser, but adding the ability to edit the embosser output using Tiger Designer before it is actually printed on paper. Therefore, I need to create a print file, which then opens in Tiger Designer. To do so, select the standard print command from the mainstream Windows program. I choose the ViewPlus Max embosser to print to, but it could be any ViewPlus printer model. With the print options, make sure to select the option to print to file. Here within Adobe Reader, you find this option under the Advanced button. A dialog opens when you click on it, which has a checkpoint, Print to File, at the very bottom. Another option would be to have the printer set up on your system to be connected to Port File, and then a print file would be created automatically every time you print to this printer without having to choose the Print to File option from the program when you print. Let me show this within the Windows System Devices and Printers control panel. This ViewPlus Max here is connected to Port File instead of USB port. You can switch the port within the Ports tab under the Printer Properties from an already existing printer. Select Port File here, and then I recommend to edit the printer name under the General tab to indicate the connection to Port File on this device. Alternately, instead of switching the port from an already existing printer to Port File within Printer Properties, you can add a printer using this option here and set it up with manual settings to Port File directly. You can have two instances of the same printer added here, one printing to USB port, which is the actual physical printer, printing on paper, and one printing to Port File, which is a virtual printer, not physically existing, but ready to be used to create print files. Back to the PDF document containing the image to be embossed. Within the print dialog, I choose the Printer ViewPlus Max file, which is connected to Port File and will create a print file automatically without having to worry about any Print to File option within this program. Make sure the page layout and sizing of the image is OK and confirm the print request. You will be prompted to enter a file name under a certain location for the print file that is going to be created. Make sure to choose a location on your computer that you can easily find afterward. The file extension on the ViewPlus Embosser print file is PRN. Next, you can find the PRN file that was just created within the Windows File Explorer. Double-click the file with extension PRN to open it in Tiger Designer. First, you'll be prompted with a question whether to convert the PRN file to a Tiger Designer generic file format. Select No on this prompt to open the print file as is. Note that Tiger Software Suite has to be installed to perform this step. And here is the print file in-screen representation of the embossed output within Tiger Designer Editor program. The image is processed through the Embosser print driver and colors are converted to different dot heights depending on their RGB value. Up to 7 different dot heights can be differentiated on tactile output, represented in shades of gray. The darker the gray shade, the higher will be the embossed dot on paper. Given the millions of visual screen colors available in original images, you might imagine that there are many colors that will be converted to the same dot height, reducing to 7 different dot heights on tactile output. Therefore, always keep in mind that high contrast in-source images is preferred to receive a rather good tactile resolution on output. When moving the mouse pointer across the image, the number in square brackets within the bottom status bar here will show current X and Y coordinates of the mouse pointer position. The next number to the right is the number of the dot height that this point will be embossed to. It is dot height 3 on this outline here, and dot height 1 for this filling, for example. Tiger Designer is much like a mainstream paint program. Besides features to handle the file in general, edit the document, change the view of the page, and navigate through multi-page documents, the program provides tools and commands to edit and manipulate the data before embosser output. Each single dot is accessible to control position and embossed dot height at the output. The first feature that I would like to show is a great enhancement tool in Tiger Designer that does not require any drawing skills. This is the Color command within the menu Transform. Data has to be selected first to apply the command. Since I would like to enhance the full image before going on to other changes, I am selecting the whole page with Ctrl-A. Now I call command Color from the menu Transform. With the new window that opens, I can adjust brightness, contrast, and edges using these slider controls. And so I can, in a first sample action, enhance the tactile contrast of the image tremendously. The command applies to whatever area is selected on the page. The selected area shows surrounded by a red outline. With Ctrl-A, I selected the whole page, but there is also a Select Rectangle tool to select a certain area of the page with your mouse. Find Select Rectangle under Menu Tool, or select this command icon from the command bar here. Now, you could apply the Color command from Transform menu just to this selection, but you can also do other things with an active selection. You can grab it with the mouse and move it, or move it using the arrow keys on your keyboard while it's selected. Moving this selection will create a copy of it which is being moved and overlays any data below. As soon as you click anywhere outside the selected area, the data is placed steady and overrides anything below. Selecting a white area, moving it over parts of the image, and placing it steady will serve like an eraser and delete data underneath. Another great feature using Select Rectangle tool is the ability to zoom the selection. For example, I select the corner of this cell structure here, move it into the white area, and now grab a corner of the red outline section and pull it out with the mouse. After grabbing the corner, I can zoom out and back in until I release the mouse button. And when I click somewhere outside the selection, the red outline disappears and the data is placed steady in current zoomed view. Manual editing tools within Tiger Designer include to draw certain shapes using gray, drawing colors representing tactile dot heights. Pick a drawing color from the color palette within menu Color, or from command bar icons, and then pick a drawing tool from menu Tool, or from the command bar icons. Drawing tools include a line draw, rectangle or oval outline, or filled shape. Draw using the mouse. When drawing with color 0, which is white, the drawing tool serves as an eraser. Drawing color 1 through 7 represent increasing tactile dot heights, and drawing color Braille in blue represents Braille dots, which are embossed in a special dot height corresponding to printer properties setting Braille height. Speaking of Braille, you might notice that the text from the original image is not readable. This is due to the original text having been the image of text and not true text editable to convert to Braille before printing. The text was part of the picture and converted corresponding to the embossed output of the picture. However, Tiger Designer also provides a tool to fix this. Therefore, select the Braille label tool from the Tool menu, or by selecting the command icon here. Then a mouse click somewhere on the page, and a dialog window will open. Within the text entry field here, I am typing the words for my Braille label, Animal Cell, with capital first letters. Then, I select a Braille font to be used to convert the text to Braille code. The Braille font names hold country abbreviations, indicating the font to translate according to the Braille table of corresponding language. English is the default without any country letters. Additionally, I can switch the orientation of the resulting Braille label to fit the image. I leave it to horizontal in this case. When confirming with OK, the Braille label will be placed as a floating red outlined area. It can still be moved, grabbing it with the mouse and moving around. As soon as you click anywhere outside the Braille label, it is placed steady and overrides data underneath. The text will be converted to Braille in a 1-to-1 correlation. Each character will be converted to corresponding Braille code of its ASCII value. No contracted Braille, no added signs like capital or number signs. In this example, I type animal cell using capital first letters, but the Braille doesn't show the capital sign in front of first letters. To receive the words including capital sign, I am now creating the same Braille label, adding a comma in front of each word. The comma converts the Braille code to .6, which represents the capital sign. So you have to type in Braille ASCII using corresponding keyboard characters. When wanting to create a label containing number 123, for example, you type the pound key or number sign followed by ABC. This will represent number 123 correctly in Braille. As long as my Braille label is red outlined, I can just hit the delete button also to remove it again. I would like to show another example of converting a scanned image to tactile graphics and printing Braille labels directly out of a mainstream Windows program. Here is a document in MS Office Word, but what I am showing would apply to any other Windows program that allows text editing like Corel Draw or Adobe Illustrator, for example. The document here contains a scanned image of a line drawing in the upper part. In the lower part, the same drawing was duplicated using Word drawing tools and adding text boxes for the labels. The text within the text boxes is formatted to Braille 29 ASCII font in size 29. The same Braille fonts available in Tiger Designer for Braille labels are available in other Windows programs for text editing. These fonts install with the VP printer driver as common screen fonts under Windows. They can be used to produce Braille text on embossed output without having to use a separate Braille translation software like TSS or Duxbury. But with the restriction of producing Braille code in 1-to-1 correlation to the ASCII value of the screen character, like in Tiger Designer Braille Label Tool. One thing you have to keep in mind when using these Braille fonts in text editor programs is to use font size 29 to ensure correct Braille dot spacing on the output. My drawing down here shows capital letters within the text boxes, and this is copying the labels from above. Note that letters C, D, and E have a comma added before the letter. Let's print this document to PRN file and open it in Tiger Designer to see how it would be embossed on output. This time I will be printing to ViewPlus Imprint Spot Dot to show a wider range of possibilities. The Imprint Spot Dot combines color print with embossing on paper, and when I open the PRN file in Tiger Designer, I will see a preview of both. This is the color print output, and this is the embossed output. Within the View menu, I can choose to see separate files of the color print and the embossed output, or a combined view of both as it would be printed on paper. No matter which view I choose here, it will always be a combined output on one sheet of paper. First, pay attention to the letter labels. The upper image is the scanned image, which holds the picture of letters that could not be translated to Braille. The color view shows the scanned image as in the original. The embosser output view shows the conversion to embossed dots with dot heights depending on the RGB value of each pixel from the image. The lower image is the version redrawn in MS Office Word with Braille font text letter labels. The Braille font in size 29 from Word got translated to Braille for embosser output and shows an ASCII print characters for color output. And again, to receive the added signs to indicate the capital letters in Braille, they have to be typed in ASCII code correlation within the text boxes, like the comma in Word on labels C, D, and E. This is because the Braille screen fonts of VP printer drivers were used, and no separate Braille translation engine like TSS or Duxbury was applied. And here we have letters A and B without capital signs, and letters C, D, and E with capital signs. Besides showing a sufficient method to create Braille labels on tactile graphics, I also want to point out the difference in the embosser output between the scanned image of the graphic and the graphic that was created from scratch using MS Office Word tools. Besides image text not being converted to Braille, you might notice that the embosser output of the scanned image contains a lot of noise around lines. In general, a scanned image will always contain additional noise and coloring to what the original electronic copy might have seen. To save time here for cleaning up, it might be worth a try to get the electronic source document for any graphic or image that needs to be converted to embosser output. But if I wanted to clean up this image, I would first apply the color command from the menu Transform. Therefore, I just select this part of the image before calling the command. Adjusting contrast, brightness, and edges will improve the image. Now the lines are more clear, but still some noise which can be deleted by drawing with white color. Also, the letter labels will need to be replaced by Braille labels on the embosser output. At this point, it would already be more time efficient just to delete the whole upper graphic here, turn on the combined view, and trace the original color version for the embosser output using Tiger Designer tools, adding Braille labels at the end. This, or redrawing directly in Word, creating a new graphic from scratch to get a nice clean tactile output like shown on the lower part of the page here, is sometimes the most efficient way to go. There are different routes to take when using VP embossers with TSS on Windows computers. And the last instance before the actual embosser output, Tiger Designer offers to manipulate the data down to the embossed dot resolution and adjust tactile prints to the needs of the reader. Thank you for your attention. Please refer to the ViewPlus website for more information.